There is something you are doing right now that is silently destroying your peace of mind. It doesn't scream. It doesn't strike suddenly. It creeps in quietly, day after day, stealing your clarity, poisoning your thoughts, and chaining you to constant restlessness. And until you stop, you will never know what true peace feels like. Do you want to know the truth? The greatest enemy of peace is not what happens to you. It is how you feed it with endless resistance, endless comparison, endless noise. The Stoics saw this clearly. They lived surrounded by war, betrayal, loss, and death. Yet their writings echo with calm. Why? Because they stopped doing what most of us still do every day. They stopped surrendering their minds to toxic habits. So, if you want peace of mind, you must begin by cutting out what destroys it. And the first thing you must stop is this. Stop trying to control what is not yours. The first thief of peace, control of the uncontrollable. Marcus Aurelius warned, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. Yet most people live as if the opposite were true. They fight against traffic, against weather, against other people's opinions. They demand that the world bow to their will. But here's what nobody tells you. Every ounce of energy you waste on the uncontrollable is energy stolen from your own mind. The more you resist what cannot be changed, the more restless you become. And slowly, peace bleeds out of your life. Imagine a man standing in the rain screaming at the clouds to stop. Absurd, isn't it? Yet isn't this what you do when you argue endlessly with reality? When you expect fairness from the unfair, perfection from the imperfect, permanence from the fragile? Peace begins the moment you stop, the moment you say, "This is not mine to command." In that instant, your fortress strengthens. Just the second thief of peace, obsessive comparison. Another poison you must stop is comparison. Seneca wrote, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Yet today, comparison has become a religion. Every scroll, every post, every glance at another life is fuel for envy. But here's the hidden danger. Comparison is endless. There will always be someone richer, stronger, younger, more admired. And every time you measure yourself against them, you cut your own peace into pieces. Think of it like drinking salt water. You crave relief, so you drink. But the more you drink, the thirstier you become. Comparison promises satisfaction, but delivers only deeper restlessness. So what must you do? Stop feeding it. Guard your attention. Remember that envy is choosing to punish yourself for another's blessing. Does that sound like peace? The third thief of peace, endless rumination. The Stoics warned us against wasting time trapped in our own heads. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Yet most of us don't just react once. We react endlessly. We replay conversations. We rewrite outcomes. We argue with ghosts of the past. But here is the cliffhanger. Rumination is not reflection. Reflection gives wisdom. Rumination gives torment. Reflection learns from the past. Rumination chains you to it. Picture a prisoner circling the same cell, day after day, tracing the walls with his fingers but never escaping. That is you when you replay the same mistakes, the same words, the same failures. Every loop is another lap around the prison, and every lap is peace slipping further away. If you want freedom, stop walking circles. Stop rehearsing regret. Accept the past as chosen and move forward. And the fourth thief of peace, chasing the noise. The final poison for today's part is noise. The Stoics valued silence. They believed wisdom requires stillness. Yet we live in a storm of distraction. Notifications, arguments, entertainment without end. We fill every empty moment with noise, terrified of silence. But here is the truth nobody dares admit. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is where peace lives. Noise is escape. Silence is strength. Think of a soldier inside his fortress. If he leaves the gates open to every shout, every rumor, every trumpet of distraction, soon the city falls into chaos. Guarding peace means shutting the gates, choosing silence, protecting space where your mind can breathe. If you cannot sit alone with yourself without reaching for distraction, then you are not free, you are chained. The fifth thief of peace. Unrealistic expectations. One of the sharpest weapons against your peace is not failure, but expectation. The Stoics knew that suffering often comes not from what life gives you, but from what you demanded of it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Think about that. And those chains rattle louder than any silence. We have already uncovered 4 silent thieves of peace, trying to control the uncontrollable, obsessively comparing yourself to others, endlessly ruminating on the past, and drowning in noise. But there are still more enemies waiting at the gates, and unless you stop them, peace will remain forever out of reach. You expected gratitude and received indifference. You expected fairness and met betrayal. You expected comfort and found struggle. And each time, peace collapsed, not because of the event, but because of your expectation. Here's the truth. Nobody tells you life owes you nothing. The world is not a machine programmed to meet your hopes. When you expect ease, you break under hardship. But when you expect challenge, you walk through storms without surprise. Peace begins when you stop demanding that life unfold according to your script. The Stoics trained themselves to expect nothing, so that everything, even difficulty, became acceptable. That is not pessimism. That is freedom. The sixth thief of peace, fear of the future. If regret chains you to the past, fear chains you to the future. Seneca warned, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of your pain is borrowed from tomorrows that never arrive. You imagine disasters before they happen. You rehearse losses that never come. And in the process, you forfeit today's peace for tomorrow's illusion. But here is the paradox. Fear feels like preparation, but it is poison. Worry does not protect you, it drains you. The future remains untouched, but you arrive at it already exhausted. The Stoic answer is radical. Rehearse the worst deliberately. Premeditatio malorum. Imagine the evils. Not to obsess, but to rob fear of its teeth. When you face the worst in your mind, you realize you can endure it. And once you know that, the future loses its power to terrify you. So stop giving away today for the sake of tomorrow's shadows. Peace lives only in the present moment, and you kill it each time you surrender to fear. And the antidote, living by the Stoic rule of ownership. Now you have seen 6 thieves of peace. And the truth is simple. Peace is never taken from you. You give it away each time you feed these habits. The Stoics teach the antidote in one sentence. Live as if everything that happens has already been chosen by you. What does this mean? It means that instead of resisting, you accept. Instead of envying, you are grateful. Instead of ruminating, you move forward. Instead of drowning in noise, you choose silence. Instead of demanding expectations, you embrace reality. Instead of fearing the future, you prepare calmly. This is ownership, and ownership is peace. The transformation. Imagine this. Tomorrow, insults come, but they cannot pierce you, because you stopped giving strangers the power to define you. Disappointment arrives, but it cannot destroy you, because you stopped expecting perfection. Fear whispers, but it cannot rule you, and because you rehearsed its worst and discovered you can endure. This is what happens when you stop. You don't need to do more to find peace. You need to stop doing what destroys it. And here's the hidden truth. Most people will hear this, nod, and change nothing. They will keep feeding thieves. They will keep surrendering peace. But a few, a rare few, will stop. They will guard their gates, lower their expectations, release their regrets, and reclaim silence. And those few will know peace as the Stoics did. If this truth resonates with you, imagine how much more you'll discover by walking further with us. Subscribe now, and let's keep uncovering the wisdom that can set your mind free. Like this video if you are ready to stop feeding the thieves of peace, and share it with someone you know who is restless, anxious, chained, because maybe this is the key they need. Peace is not something you find, it is something you protect. And you protect it not by adding more, but by stopping what destroys it. The next lesson may surprise you even more. Because if today you learned what to stop for peace of mind, tomorrow you may learn how to transform every obstacle into strength. And that, my friend, may change the way you see life forever.